What's up, everybody? Elite Desi Dating Coach. All right, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about the differences in dating in Miami versus Los Angeles. All right, the pros and cons of each. All right, the different types of women in each city, and just overall, the layouts of both cities, and in terms of dating. And then, the favorite out of my both, right? I've gamed in both cities. I've lived in Florida, so I know from experience about Miami. I've worked in LA. I've coached students in LA, so I'm in LA pretty often. So I've gamed in both, so I know the layouts of both cities. So we're going to be talking about the differences, and again, which one is my favorite, my personal favorite. So first and foremost, let's focus on the quality of women, right? That really is the most important thing for all of us, right? The quality of the type of women we're going to be meeting. LA is obviously the entertainment capital of the country. So there are definitely beautiful women in LA, right? But Miami just overall has a fitness and health scene that outdoes any city. So just based on pure aesthetics, Miami has more women that are in shape and overall more focused on the way they look, right? Where in LA, there definitely are plenty of women that are trying to break into Hollywood and things like that. So they look good, but just overall, they're just, in terms of numbers, there's just more women in Miami that are focused on the way they look and looking perfect, really. Both cities are majority Hispanic, right? So if you're into a guy that likes Latina women, you'll find plenty of Hispanic women in each city. But here's the difference, right? LA has mostly Mexicans and Central Americans. So the women are not as attractive, to be honest. They're not so much focused on their health and fitness. They mostly try to play like this whole, I'm trying to be a little gangsterette, cockroach bullshit. So looks wise, expect short, fat, big-headed Mexican or Central American women. Compared to Miami, which is full of beautiful South American women that love taking care of themselves. It's just part of South American culture, I guess, to be very fitness-focused and looks-focused. So the women, they get the BBLs, the Brazilian butt lifts, lips done, boobs done, teeth, perfect looking. Brazilian, Colombian, Venezuelan, Cuban women even. Just a lot of gorgeous women out in Miami. Now, one more thing about LA is that it is just overall more diverse. So you will find Asian and white women in LA compared to Miami. So if you're not really that into Latina women, then you will have other options of women in LA compared to Miami. But again, just overall, the fitness scene in Miami is much, much more dominant. So even on the outskirts of Miami, you'll find white women that are, very fitness focused and looks focused. All right. Next thing is kind of what I was just talking about is diversity. So LA for sure is more diverse. So when it comes to going out on dates, you're going to have more options in terms of restaurants and date ideas. Again, because there is a sizable Asian and white population, you can find, various types of, restaurants, types of food and things like that. Compared to Miami, which is really more South American and, Cuban influenced. So date options for, let's say, if you want to go to a restaurant are going to be more Latin focused. And just overall, kind of things to do are going to be more Latin focused in Miami than in LA. So if that's not your thing, then LA definitely would be better for diversity. All right. Now, here's a really big one. All right. So if you're a guy who's single, right, let's say you work a 9 to 5 or, whatever shift let's say you work a 9 to 5, right? Nightlife is going to be very important for you at that point, right? And hands down, Miami is definitely much better for nightlife, to meet women, right? Clubs, bars, overall the whole nightlife in South Beach is just really vibrant and happening. So you're going to meet lots of good-looking women. right? Miami is very status based. So to get into some of the clubs in Miami, there definitely are. It's gonna be a little bit difficult, but just overall, there's still plenty of other night venues and clubs that the average guy can get into, right? To meet women. Compared to LA, I would say LA nightlife is very, very status based. Hollywood lives in LA, right? Think of it that way. Hollywood is inside of LA. So the standards to get into a lot of the clubs in LA are very high. It's really difficult for the average guy to get into a lot of those clubs in LA. All right. So again, I think Miami definitely has the better nightlife. So now here's another important one. Again, if you're a single guy, right, you go to work, come home, cook your dinner, whatever, and then just sit there and watch TV, right? You don't have many friends or things like that. Then you want to be doing day game, right? If the dating apps aren't working for you, obviously you want to reach out to me and I can help you with that. But you also want to be doing day game. Day game is very important as well. Probably, I would say more important than night game even, all right? So if you want to do day game, Miami is much better. Miami has better beaches, right? That anyone can tell you that. Miami's beaches are much better than the beaches in LA. And again, because there are more South American women compared to like these Mexican women or even Asian women actually in LA are South American women are much more open and friendlier, right? So you can just cold approach just about anywhere in Miami and you won't get completely shut down, let's say about half the time, all right? Women may ghost you after giving you their number, but a lot of women in Miami are just more polite about things, right? The women in LA, because it is so entertainment focused and status focused, the women in LA can be a little bit more standoffish and rude even about being approached, right? So overall, Miami, it's definitely more common and accepted to approach and really just not difficult at all compared to LA, where again, the women are just not as open. So those are some of the main differences, really the most important differences that you guys are going to want to know about both cities. My overall pick out of these two cities, both cities can be very fun, awesome cities, but I definitely prefer Miami for gaming. Hands down, Miami to me is a much better city to be, again, going out for day game, out for night game. I just like the culture better. I don't like LA culture as much. It's kind of dry to me. It's kind of a little bit boring to me during the day. Here in Miami, I'm in Miami now. Here during the day, again, cold approaching, just overall, it's just more vibrant. Again, South American cultures, it influences the city greatly. Cuban culture as well. So again, if you learn through me, right, I can definitely teach you on how to interact in a way especially out here where you're going to get positive results, right? Again, South American women are very open, right? They're very friendly compared to these Mexican women and Asian women in LA. They can be a little bit, again, standoffish and things like that. So overall, you're going to have more fun here in Miami. But if you're a guy who's a remote worker, right, and you have that flexibility, I would always recommend Miami. To do Miami first, try Miami out, come out here, obviously get a coach, book with me, and I will definitely help you out. So you are meeting women out here and you're getting accustomed to just the whole scene. And then if you want to try LA, you can do that as well. But yeah, again, my overall pick is definitely going to be Miami. But if you're a guy who's kind of looking for a job and, the economy is kind of a little bit rougher out here in Miami, I'd say that there's more job opportunities in LA. There's more, overall, just I would say more opportunities to kind of at least get by in LA compared to Miami. All right. So, but for dating, again, we're just focused on dating here. Miami's much better. So if you have the opportunity to come out here, definitely do it. Like I said, reach out to me. We can set it up so I can coach you out here. But I hope you enjoyed this video. All right. Again, reach out to me. Check my website out, www.desidatingcoach.com, and I will check you all out